What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another of my videos, and we are continuing the Who to Buy For series today. I believe this is episode 8 now, and we're on to Everton. So this should be a good one. Now, before I start, I just want to say about the different career modes that you can do with this. So there's different directions that you can take an Everton career mode in. Obviously, I'm recording this after Sean Dyche has been appointed, so if you wanted to take it in a Sean Dyche direction and use the real manager that he's given, then you could easily do that and just simulate until the January transfer window, and then, or after the January transfer window, and just hope that you're in a relegation battle, if you know what I mean, and then build from there and try to get yourself out of trouble. Or you could just do it as a normal career mode and just start from the beginning without Sean Dyche, or with Sean Dyche, whichever one you want. But if you do with Sean Dyche, then you want to be adopting a nice defensive formation, shoring up at the back, utilising James Kowalski and Dwight McNeil, of course. But we'll get into the team now then. So this is a formation I've chosen. It's a 4-4-1-1. Now, it's not the default formation, but I think this is probably the best one you want to be using. Now, I've got Alex Iwobi in behind Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin is probably a striker you want to be keeping at the club. Neil Maupay, less so, but Calvert-Lewin is probably going to be the striker to get you out of trouble if you are in a relegation scrap. Alex Iwobi, you could always improve on Alex Iwobi because he's not the youngest, is he? He's 26. He's still probably got a good 2 years of growth left. But if you wanted to bring in someone extra young, then that is always a possibility as well. I must mention, the players I've got on the list are all attacking players. I've got no defenders or goalkeepers because I don't feel like that's somewhere we need to be improving. Maybe in right back he could improve, but Coleman, at least for the first and second season, you could probably keep him, get away with that. James Kowalski and Connor Cody as well at the back, and Mikolenko at left back is someone you want to be keeping because he's only 23 years old and will improve. Jordan Pickford, you want to be keeping him at the club as well. I've seen people do career modes and Jordan Pickford is up in the high 80s, even though he is 28 years old, so but I don't know why I've started with the defence. I normally start with the attack. Anyway, we'll go into the midfield now. Dwight McNeil, keep him because Sean Dyche, if you're doing a Sean Dyche one, then keep him, but if not, then you could probably get away with letting him go after the first season or second one. Onana has been really good for Everton in real life, only 20 years old, he's one you want to be keeping. And Gay, he's 32, but he's one of your highest rated players on the team, so you probably want to keep him for 2 seasons at least, but then you may look to move him on. And Demarai Gray as well, being really good for Everton in real life, so definitely keep him. And if you look at the bench is what it is. Any players on the reserves, maybe you look to move on a couple of these centre-backs such as Holgate, Keane, Mina, a combination of maybe 2 of them. Townsend, you could look to move him on, he is 31 now, but you could also keep him on the reserves if you needed just a little bit of a backup in the winger position. But I've got quite a few wingers on the list, so you may want to move Townsend on. Vinagre, yeah, I think he's a good backup for if Mikolenko gets injured for whatever reason. But anyway, we're going to get into the signings now. I'm going to show you the budget and then, yeah, tell you, I think there's 7 players on the list, so we've got quite a few to get through today. Now, once again, if you're doing a Sean Dyche career, then you may want to limit yourself with the budget and the amount of signings you make, because he did it well at Burnley with only making maybe 1 or 2 signings in a window and limiting the amount of money that he spent. So you want to be clever if you're doing a Sean Dyche one. Otherwise, you can bring Everton back to the top if you want to be a little bit less realistic and you're not doing a Sean Dyche career. Then you can easily just go and sign most of these because you have got a budget of £50 million, which is quite a hefty amount. But anyway, the first player on this list is Ruben Vargas from Augsburg. He's got a real face, which always adds to the immersion, and he's just very good. You'll be able to pick him up for around 10 million, and he's 23 years old, 75 rating. You will get him into the mid-80s, I reckon, by the time he hits his peak. And to bring him in for not even £10 million, I reckon, could be a bargain for you. Look at his pace: 88 accelerating, 89 sprint speed, 91 agility, 90 balance, 85 jumping. Them 5 stats alone make him look so good. And then you have his reactions and attacking positioning, which is also good. You've got his amazing ball control, amazing dribbling. For a 75 rated player, he is such a bargain. Shot power is decent, long shots decent, short pats decent. His finishing could be improved on, but if you put a inverted winger development plan on him, that can easily be sorted out. A Swiss international, yeah, you could easily bring him into the club, but I could see this happen in real life as well if you wanted to shore up on the wings. The next player has been linked with a bigger Premier League move over the last few seasons. It's Ismaila Sarr of Watford, recently relegated Watford, I must add. And in real life, it doesn't look like they're set up dead on to come back up to the Premier League. So this move is definitely not out of the question. And it's one of the most realistic Premier League destinations, I reckon, to bring him into Everton, the Senegalese international. So he's 77 overall, 24 years old, so he's starts slightly better than Vargas. But he's also 1 year older, so it depends which direction you want to take it in. It's going to cost you a touch more. It's going to cost you about 10 million more. I reckon between around 17 million. It says between 15 and 19, so probably around 17 million, 18 million you'll be able to pick him up for, which isn't too much for a 77 rated player. I reckon he jumps straight into the first team over McNeil or Diamari Gray. Maybe not Diamari Gray, but he's younger, so obviously, if you're wanting to improve on the youth of the team, then that's definitely an option. You can play most positions over the front line. I remember last season and the year before, he did actually have striker as one of his positions, secondary or tertiary positions. So definitely you could play him as a backup to Calvert-Lewin, or after the first or second season, if you wanted to train him as a striker, then he could definitely do a job instead of Calvert-Lewin. But definitely a player you should be exploring. He's got amazing pace, 94 acceleration, 94 sprint speed. What a player. Everything else is decent as well. Shot power, dribbling, got good curve. That's exactly what you want as a winger. His crossing could be improved on. That's only 68, but it's an easy fix because he is only 24 years old. He's got speed dribbler trait. So yeah, there's Ismaila Sarr. Could be definitely one that you bring in. Now, unfortunately, this next player doesn't have a real game face, but it is Noah Okafor from Red Bull Salzburg. Now, lots of players from Red Bull Salzburg, they are kind of a feeder club for many Premier League teams. Not really Everton as much as such, but Okafor, I could definitely see this one happen in real life. He's a striker. If you wanted to shore up, or should I say, bring in a backup to Calvert-Lewin, then this is definitely an option you could explore. Striker's his main position, but you can also play it as a CAM slash left mid. So if you wanted to play him ahead of, what's his name? Alex Iwobi, instead of Alex Iwobi, then that's definitely something you could do. 4-star, 6'1". I mean, everything leans towards him being a striker, to be honest, because he's got attacking work rate as high. But you could play him along the midfield. Look at his acceleration and sprint speed. 93. Another pacey player. Good agility, good strength as well. A pacey and strong man. Definitely something you could look to utilise in your career mode. Swiss international. I don't think he's an international, sorry, but he's a Swiss. He's of the Swiss nationality. Everything else is good stats as well. Good shot power, good long shots, dribbling, finishing, ball control, short pass. They're his main attributes. Everything else will be improved as he is only 22 years old. You'll be able to bring him in for not too much, a little bit more than Vargas, but a little bit less than Sarr. Around 15 million you'll be able to bring him in for, and you won't have to pay too much on the wage bill, I wouldn't have thought. He's not on too much right now. So definitely Okafor, look at him. The fourth player on the list then is Sofiane Diop of OGC Nice. In the Crystal Palace video, we suggested a right mid to bring in from Nice, and today we're suggesting a left mid. This guy, Sofiane Diop, 77 overall, 22 years old, is a French, of the French nationality, should I say. He's 5'9", high attacking work rate. He plays, he can play anywhere along the midfield, really. Centre forward, I kind of see that also as a CAM, so he could definitely do a job instead of Alex Iwobi in the central attacking midfielder role, but left mid, right mid, his main positions really. Now, if you look at his summary, it doesn't look particularly good, but if you go into his stats, you can see most of them are in the greens here. Good agility, good acceleration, good balance. Well, he's not the fastest because his sprint speed is only 69, but everything else kind of leans towards a very good player. Ball control, 81, 82 dribbling, good free kick accuracy as well, which is maybe what you want with a midfielder. Decent crossing as well, 77, a bit better than Ismaila Sarr at crossing, but there's Sofiane Diop. You'll be able to bring him in for just less than 20 million, I expect. He's probably the most expensive of the ones that I've suggested. A little bit more expensive than Ismail Assar and Vargas on the wings, but if you have the cash, then why not splash it? Sofiane Diop, definitely, I could see happening in real life, and someone you should be bringing in. Now, the next player I'm going to suggest is another striker, Ezequiel Avila from Osasuna. He's got a real face, which is always nice to see. He's 80 overall, 28 years old, Argentinian international. Now, of course, he's not the most young. He's not the youngest player, and I like to go for young players on this signing suggestions, but he brings a bit of experience to the front line. If you wanted to maybe play two up top with him and Calvert-Lewin, or if you wanted to bring him in ahead of Calvert-Lewin, he's only 5'8", so he's not the tallest striker. He's completely the opposite of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's not going to score many headers, I can't imagine. But he's got good strength, good balance, good sprint speed. He's quite fast, very high aggression, 90 aggression, so he won't shy away from a challenge high up the pitch, which is kind of what you want with a striker. You want to be pressing from the front, I imagine, in your career modes. He's got good finishing of 81. Heading accuracy is 80, so despite him not being too tall, he's still good at heading the ball. He's got good shot power as well. He has got the injury-prone trait, which isn't great, but if you could... Obviously, if you've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the club, then it doesn't really matter if he gets injured for a couple of months in a season. Got long passing, long shot taker, and you'll be able to pick him up for around 20 million, maybe a little bit more than that. He has got a release clause, but you won't want to be paying that in the first season, definitely. And he's only going to get a little bit worse after season 1 and 2, because he'll be hitting the 30 mark sooner rather than later. But if you wanted to bring it in another striker, then look no further than Ezequiel Avila. Now, the next player I'm going to suggest is yet another winger. Well, I'll say winger, he's more of a left mid type of guy. A little bit deeper than a winger, but Lee Kangin from RCD Mallorca, 21 years old, 76 overall. Now, I can't tell if he's got a real face or not. I don't think it's a real face, but it does kind of look like his player image there, so don't hold me to that. Obviously, Republic of Korea probably plays for the international team. 76 overall, you expect him to. You can pick him up for around 15, 16, maybe 17, 18 million if you're unlucky. But if you're good at negotiating, you'll be able to get him for a decent price, I imagine, there. And if we go into his stats, he's got good acceleration, good sprint speed. Maybe not as high as your Ismail Assar or your Vargas is, but still, he's got good... He's decent for a midfielder. Agility and balance are very high as well. And if his technical stats are something to behold, really. Free kick accuracy 81, dribbling 80, finishing is only 72, but he's still a midfielder, so that can be improved easily. Short pass 80, long pass 75, curve 77, crossing 73, ball control 78. Some of his main stats there, really. And he's just a very nice player to bring into the club. He's got two traits: long shot taker and technical dribbler. And I've already showed you the price, so I think for the price that you're getting him for, he's very versatile as well. It says he could play striker and CAM as well, so he could play anywhere really along the front line, I can imagine. He's left-footed, but he's got 3-star weak foot, which can be improved. Why not bring Lee Kang-in into your next Everton career mode? Now, the final player on here is the most expensive and also the highest rating. He recently got a new game face added. 5-star skill moves, wow. Only 3-star weak foot, but still, it's David Neres from Benfica. Right mid, right wing, CAM. Could probably get away with him on the left because he has got a preferred foot of left. If you want him to train on the left, and that's fine. Ahead of Dwight McNeil. But obviously, if you do bring him in, he's going to come in ahead of Diamara Gray or Dwight McNeil, and he's going to come straight into the first team. Both his work rates are medium, so not the best, but if you go into his stats, look at this. Acceleration amazing, sprint speed amazing, agility 88, balance 87, composure 85, and that's what you want. You could even put him on penalties if his composure is that high. Where are his penalties? Only 69, but he's still got good composure. His dribbling is very good. Ball control 85 as well, extremely good. Curve 80, crossing 73, finishing 74. But how much will you have to pay? I'll show you the traits before I show you that. Actually, finesse shot, flair, outside foot shot, and technical dribbler. And how much will you have to pay? Yeah, quite a decent chunk, to be fair. Most of your budget, probably around 40 million at most, you might have to pay for him if you're good at negotiating. He's got a release cost of 49, but you should be able to pick him up for a little bit less than that. But obviously, when he's 25 years old, you'll be able to get him into the high 80s at least, because he's got 4 or 5 seasons of decent growth left in him, I reckon. So high 80s, and he would be one of your best players throughout the career mode. And he'd come in and he'd be one of your best players from the start. So that's them 7 players, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, we're about to finish it now. So if you've enjoyed it, please go down below, smash the like, smash the subscribe. Any support is greatly appreciated. Comment, share, do whatever you want, really. But you don't have to do any of them, really. But I'm going to go now, guys. If you've enjoyed it, I've been Hazard Junior Cherry. I've kind of messed up this ending, but so I do apologise, but right, let's just end it. See you guys, thanks for watching.